All right, let's, adoption of the agenda, got a motion?
Dr. Paulson, we have some musical guests.
I was
with
gonna get
us
them
tonight.
after the adoption of the
Oh,
agenda.
okay.
All right. Can we get adoption of the agenda first?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any discussion from the public? No? Okay. Everybody in favor of the agenda as adopted, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, it passes 5-0. Now, we have Williams Elementary School Choir, right? Okay, thank you for confirming that for me. Under the direction of Marco Thomas. Would you please stand, Marco, please? Thank you. So now you're gonna give us a presentation. done there? Mr. Thomas, thank you very much. That was excellent.
Terrific.
Beautiful.
There's your 1 million at work, right? Right, Mr. Hyatt?
And mixed meter was
Mixed
very nice.
meter now, you're good.
That was very, I know Dr. Paulson was gonna mention the 5/4 feel of that first song, but, he forgot, but anyway.
A
Yeah,
5-4, that's a defense.
Very, very impressive.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I'd like to thank the students from Williams, the great Williams Elementary, and the music director, Mr. Thomas, as well as the principal who's in our audience, Anyana Stokes. Thank you so much.
that was soothing. It was good to hear soothing, especially today.
Beautiful tribute for dead veterans.
Yeah, it's really great, really great. All right, let's go to approval of the minutes, October 16th, 2018. Has everybody had a chance to look at them? Move for approval by Ms.
Second.
Griffin, second by Dr. McNeely. Any discussion from the board members? And any discussion from the public? None? All right. Everybody in favor of the minutes of October 16th, 2018? Did we say the school board meeting, right? School board meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Okay, that approves. Now, the October, I'm doing this backwards, excuse me. October 16th, 2018 Suicide Prevention Workshop. Has everybody had a chance to look at those?
Second.
Ooh. Mrs. Griffin, motion by Mrs. Griffin, second by Mrs. Roy. Any discussion by the board? No? All right, any discussion from the public? No. All right, okay, everybody in favor of the minutes of the Suicide Prevention Workshop, please say aye.
Aye.
If you're opposed, like sign, passes 5-0. Okay, board member superintendent announcements. Okay. All right, we'll go with April Griffin. Ms. Griffin.
Dr. Paulson, if you don't mind, I'd like to go last.
Then you can. I thought when I saw you go first, I wanted to. All right. Okay, Dr. McNeely?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to acknowledge, and I don't know if my mic is very loud, because at first it wasn't working, so if you say it's too loud, I'll sit back. Saw some thumbs up. Okay, thank you. First, I'd like to start off by congratulating the Head Start staff, Mrs. Natalie Strappy, Mrs. Audrey Williams, Mrs. Phyllis McKnight. They gave a wonderful opening for Head Start Awareness Month. They are all of our pre-K folk, and what a breakfast did we have. I certainly want to commend the staff and any persons who were not a part of the initial committee. Thank you so much for all that you have done to help these 3 persons. I hope that we will keep in mind that the Awareness Month means a whole lot, because sometimes we think that this school system only has K through 12, but believe it or not, it's a pre-K through 12. So we want to always acknowledge our Head Start employees as well as our children, and they did an awesome job. Well, that same morning, I went over for another breakfast, and that was with the Partnership in Education breakfast, which was over at the GRU auditorium, and it was fantastic. That particular event, we were thanking all of our partners who help us in so many different ways to make this system work for the children in this district. So thank you very much. And then I'd like to recognize Dr. Deidre Houchin, because she had sent out an invitation for Black Educators Florida Secret social justice advocates. And we had a marvelous workshop, and the exhibit that's at the Smathers Library. I would recommend all of you to go and take a look at the era back in the day, and it's on the second floor of Smathers Library East. It was a wonderful event to learn so much about the culture of educators prior to integration. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I'll save my other comments for later. Thank you, Dr. Paulson.
Okay. Mr. Hyatt.
I'm gonna pass right now. I'm ready to go, but I'll pass to Ms. Roy,
All right,
if you don't mind.
Mrs. Roy.
Thank you. I wanted to acknowledge that this is the final meeting of the school board, that Ms. April Griffin will be on the board. And I want to take this opportunity to thank April for her 8 years on the board. She has been one of the hardest working board members that I have known over these years, and one of the most dedicated to the arts. I have noticed that you've attended almost every musical, concert, band, and chorus, as well as dramatic production. And we've noticed those things. We also have noticed your support, and thank you for your support for the Take Stock in Children. You have been such an integral part of the team that operates that program, and it's so, and a mentor as well for many years. All of those things have been so noticed. You've earned the admiration of this board, and we thank you very much, and we'll miss you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I
Are
can
you
go now.
ready now? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did get a chance to go to the Bishop Band, Chorus, and Drama presentation. Dr. Paulson also attended. And great job by both bands. I am a recovering high school band director, and so I do appreciate band, but I was so pleased with the chorus and the drama, which was very high standard and wonderful. So I'd say that the arts at Bishop are very much alive, and I'm so proud of that, those students, the teachers, and the administrators for making that happen. And I also wanted to address April, figuring that I would sort of just ramble along. I'm actually, you can thank me now that I actually wrote it out. So, and this will be for the record. April, what an incredible pleasure to work with you on the board for the past 4 years. Here's how I plan to up my game to fill a tiny part of what you do every day for our children and district. 1, be in schools more often. Visits are not done as supervision, but as encouragement. Let teachers, ESPs, and administrators know that we have their back. Next, to be more active in Florida School Boards Association. You are the model of professional involvement and leadership. Thanks for representing Alachua County as a leader in our state and nation. Next, become more involved with the Education Foundation. Your tireless efforts have changed the face of the district and enabled countless children to climb the academic and social ladder and stay on the path to success. Next, bring a little light and kindness into every situation. Your positive energy is apparent even in challenging times, and small acts can make large differences. Finally, Always, this is for me, this is my checklist of what I need to do. Always be aware of what's happening around the state and nation, as well as in our local schools. No one is better prepared or knowledgeable to address the needs of school districts. Thanks for making me laugh out loud countless times. Your wit and humor are infectious. In the words of the great philosopher and my neighbor in Key West, Jimmy Buffett, if we weren't all crazy, we'd all go insane. I know that you will continue to be a positive influence for the cause of public schools in Alachua County and beyond. It's been my honor to be a partner in this endeavor. More important, it is fabulous to have you as a trusted friend with respect and affection.
Ms. Clark?
I don't know if I can handle anymore.
Well, then I'll wait. I'll wait till after she's done. I have a
No, I'm
presentation
not.
to, I have a presentation to make at the very end.
Well, I guess then I'll go. Normally, I'm supposed to go last, but April's last.
Yes.
I don't have anything written down, April. I was thinking about what I said. We came in together 8 years ago. And it's been an interesting 8 years. I think we've accomplished a lot. But the thing I want to say to you is the decency of you and your husband and the thoughtfulness I'll forever cherish. And you know where I'm headed. 5 years ago, my wife got cancer. And the way you and Kevin both reacted was truly godly. And I remember when you needed a recommendation for president, we all were asked, and that's the thing I thought about, you know, I mean, you are everything they've said. I couldn't, but to me, you are a godly person that was there when my wife and I needed you, and Kevin both. And I'll always remember that. You're looking at a person up here that's always professional. We don't always agree, but you're always professional. And you're gonna be missed. I hate to see you go, really. And I'm just gonna keep going because I better stop, but anyway. You and, I hate to bring you in, Kevin, but you and your family.
Package deal.
You don't know how much that meant to me. And to Cindy. We'll always love you for that. So thank you very much. Karen, you ready now? Are you ready afterwards, Kevin? Are you gonna go now? How are we gonna do this?
No, okay. Why don't you go ahead?
Okay,
Ms.
let me get through first of all, I wanted to thank the students for being here. I noticed that y'all are here taking notes, so I'm assuming that it's for a class. And hopefully, you will learn something tonight, and thank you for being here. I prepared what I wanted to say so that we get through it. Tonight is bittersweet for me. And I practiced, and I wouldn't have cried if you hadn't said something. I am very thankful for my journey and for the past few months that I've had to get over the loss and to finish strong. When I decided to run for the school board, I ran to make a difference for our students, teachers, and schools. Just so you know, Government 101, you're not supposed to cry when you're at the dais. I never imagined that the biggest difference would be made in me. I was a domestic goddess, I still am, but it's not my only title now. And with my worldview that encompassed my son's schools in the western part of the county. I also had a very limited view of the issues that our district does face and the true impact that I can have. I have become a confident public school and student advocate, and I have no problem, usually, except for tonight, speaking about the issues of our schools, teachers, and districts face. I've gone from saying every few sentences to eloquently, even if I do say so myself, addressing the State Board of Education and school board members and superintendents across the state and nation. I've also learned that just because you can say something doesn't mean that you should say something. My circle of friends and influence has also expanded across our country, state, and nation, our county, state, and nation, and I've grown as a person in so many ways, and it would take me too long to list them all. I'd like to thank a few groups. The first is my family. Kevin, our boys, our adopted children, and extended family have supported me every step of the way and have come to my rescue when needed. Tonight, they put up signs, they stuck envelopes, they made crafts, they listened to me speak and sometimes rant. They brought cookies and decorations and tonight flowers to help me celebrate my birthday and special occasions at board meetings. They came to the board meetings when things got rough and also allowed me to miss events and evenings at home and so much more. Thomas was a senior the year that I ran, and Andrew was in 10th grade. So my name got to be on his diploma, which was really cool. Thank you. Thank you also for the citizens that entrusted me with the seat for the past 8 years. It's been a true honor to serve. Thank you to everyone that works in our schools, and the reason I wanted to go now is because some of you are going to leave after the consent agenda, and I wanted to say thank you. Every day, you work to make a difference for our students, and this district is blessed to have some of the most dedicated folks working at every level in our district. Thank you. And I'm thankful to call many of you friends. Thank you to the community and business leaders that I've been able to work with in various ways during my time on the school board. I've learned so much from each of you, and our community is blessed to have so many devoted to making a difference in our hometown. Now, this is my things that I'd like you to consider as going forward. First is the community school. It is one of the things that I'm most proud of. Dr. Rentz and the Nest, along with all of the administration and teachers, are doing incredible work for the students and families in Howard Bishop. And I hope that you will continue to support this work and look to expand it to other schools across the district. We all know that when community is involved in a school, fabulous things happen. I'd also like for you to look into expanding the AVID and 21st Century Classroom projects at other schools. Both of these things are in their first year and are also showing huge success, especially the AVID program in the middle schools. And I think that we need to continue that work. I read of a program that is happening in Sarasota County, and the school district there and the housing authority have worked together to get a clause in the rent agreements that makes it a lease violation if the students don't attend school regularly. I sent this article to Superintendent Clark and Deputy Jones, and I think that if we can work together with our housing authority, that's a win-win for families and our schools. Career Tech education has been a topic for almost every campaign this year at every level. And if this board is really dedicated to growing our program, we need to increase the staff in the CTE department. It's critical. Mr. McElroy has done an awesome job of handling being the principal at Lofton and being the director of our CTE department. But I believe these jobs should now be separated and at least one teacher specialist added to help Ms. Ifredi and Mrs. Ritter do the work that they are doing across our district. I know the money is tight, but if it's truly a priority for this district and those that are running for office right now, we need to make it a priority for our board also. And lastly, to my colleagues, those that sit at this dais now, everyone that sits at the dais now, and those to come, keep up the good work that is begun under Superintendent Clark. She has a vision for this district that is phenomenal, and she's done some mighty impressive things already, and you need to support her in her work. Remember to keep adult agendas out of the boardroom, and keep all of the best interests of every one of our 29,000 students at the forefront of any decisions that you make. It has been an honor to serve with you. And my role has changed, but my passion and conviction has not. So if you need me, I'm only a phone call away. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Clark, I think you're up.
Yes. So to celebrate the 8 years of service of Mrs. April Griffin to thousands of children and families in our community, we have our traditional gift for those who have. She's happy. This was drawn, many you may or may not know, this was drawn by one of our own staff members, Mr. Keith Brown, a sketch of the district office building. So she now has a frame of this to hang in her home.
Thank you. This is also the picture on all my note cards, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Now we're done now. You got, or you're late.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, go to citizens input. This is the time when we have 15 minutes to address the board. Each person is supposed to be held to 3 minutes. We have a light up here warning you. I have a warning light and then a red light that's your time is up. I have one request here in writing. It's from Megan Hendricks and Rick McNeil. Sorry about that, Rick. And thank you to April Griffin. You guys ready?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. We're here representing the Alachua County Council of PTAs, and we just wanted to add to all of the kind things that have been said about April Griffin tonight. April was instrumental in the re-upping or recreation of our county council a few years ago, and has not stopped supporting us ever since. Not only us, but also the local PTA units. She's been one of the strongest advocates for teachers and for kids at the district and the state level, truly, that I've ever seen. Just the amount of dedication and time and passion and everything that she's put in is outstanding, and we just wanted to thank you on behalf of all the PTAs here, and we look forward to working with you in the future, because this isn't the end, and we look forward to seeing what God has in His plan for you next, because we hope to be a part of that as well.
April, you have been an inspiration to all of us and an encourager as we've moved the county council and the individual PTAs around the district forward. And we look forward to you having some additional time now so that you can participate more fully.
You hear that, Kevin?
There's always room for you, and we just appreciate all that you've done, and we trust that you will have a bright, bright future. Thank you.
I know y'all are probably going to leave, so I'll give you a hug the next time I see you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Kevin Griffin. I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts, from our family. People sitting around the edge, we've had privilege to get to know, and thank you. You've made a difference in our lives, and so it's been a joy, and thank you for April, and David, thanks for sitting beside her and keeping that cattle prod to keep her quiet at times. I really appreciate you doing that, buddy. And, no, we've gone back. I've known this man for 40 years, so it's been a joy. And Karen, thank you for your leadership. The passion you have for these kids here is remarkable. And we thank you and look forward to your staff continue to support you and see what's the best is even yet to come. So we're very, very grateful for that. So, but we just want to say thank you, and it truly has been a privilege for us. Thank you for the respect that you've shown her, and that we're grateful for. So we'll continue to pray for you and have a blessed day. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Anybody else?
The
Citizens
children.
input, okay?
The children, her sons.
Kevin, introduce the family.
This is our middle son, Thomas, and this is our youngest son, Andrew, and his real close, good friend, Jesse. Our other one is engaged, she's out of town, she's on her way back.
Okay. All right, thank you, family and good friend. All right, Ian.
Good night, board members and board chair. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I did not come prepared to speak. I normally don't speak at these meetings, but I had to get up and speak on behalf of all the things that April has done for the chamber. In 2012, Tim Giuliani became the CEO, and he wanted to start to get involved in education. And so he called up Rick Staub and made him the chair of what was the Talent Alignment Committee. And of course, Rick called up April, and April didn't hesitate. They did a report to tell us what they thought we should do. We had many meetings where we didn't know where we were going. We had many meetings where we laughed, and we had many meetings where we accomplished things. And so you were there from the start as we started to walk down this road towards education, long before we even thought about entering into a compact. And you were always at the table, and you were always there to be a part of it. And I want to thank you for that. And as we moved forward, you were very instrumental in the creation of Career Discoveries Day. You was at the table when we created it and had the first one at Lofton, and we just completed the fourth annual one. And I want to tell you, I did save a t-shirt for you. You had knee surgery and couldn't come out. And if I had known, I would have brought the t-shirt. April, for you, most of you don't know, her and I went back and forth about t-shirts and giving t-shirts to the kids. I would refuse, and she would say, no, we have to get the t-shirts, and I would ask her to write the check, but she always refused to write the check. Right? And so eventually we got to the point where we developed the t-shirt. And I also want to thank you because I sit on the Ed Foundation board with you, and I thank you for allowing me to be chair of A Night in the Big Apple last year. I truly appreciated that, but it's just been wonderful working with you. It's been a wonderful problem solving with you, and I thank you for your commitment to the chamber work in education. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Rudolph, man. April, I enjoyed you, and thanks for listening. The few times I've talked to you, I really appreciate it, and hope you're a wonderful retirement.
I wanted to say, April, from the time I went over to Buchholz as an assistant principal, and sometimes we don't talk when we're in administration about what board members do behind the scene. And I know from working in student services, the number of times you would stop by my office and say, is there anything I can do for any child that needs our help? And you would open up a room when I would say I have a child that does not know where they're going to sleep tonight. You would always make sure that I had your cell number along with Kevin and offer what we don't always talk about as a board member. I want to say to you that you have separated yourself when I have seen you not advertise nor talk about those deeds so the world can know what you've done. When I went over to Lawton Childs, I had to endure your better half, with his shorts that sometimes, where I had to give him the fingertip test. But I also knew that my staff looked forward to you coming with a smiling face and a spice cake, and always offering once again, not taking in consideration that many people would pass by Hale Plantation and assume that we didn't have students in need. And you would always say the same line you told me at Buchholz: if you have someone that needs something, let me know. And every time I did reach out to you, I only had to make the call once, or make it as a statement of if you could possibly, you would cut me off and say, I got it. And you always did. I was threatened not to get up here by Kathy Black, who said she was going to smack me because I was going to make you cry. But I always remembered something that my dad used to say: babe, you don't do things for the glory. You don't do things for the wrong reasons. And you'll know the difference when you don't talk about it. Thank you, April.
Normally we'd stop now, but anybody else wants to speak?
Mr. Paulson, I missed something earlier. I'd like to have the authority to recognize someone in our audience at this point.
Right.
Thank you so much. Mr. Davis, would you please stand? Mr. Davis is one of our phenomenal employees in transportation. I wanted to say that I rode his bus through all of his routes, and I was just consumed with how the students came on and off. And I think I might have mentioned this already to this body, but I'm so glad that you're here tonight because I asked him to research something for me, and he did. He has worked diligently in our district for 15 years. Not one day has he missed in those 15 years. I see many awards here from the state and local and from the superintendent. And I understand that he was even featured locally on television locally for his amazing work. So, Mr. Davis, I want to thank you for my ride. You took me to every route where you had to pick up children and brought me back safely. And I know that you do that each and every day with our boys and girls. So thank you so much for your 15 years of service to this district with not one day off. I couldn't believe it. So thank you for your tenacity. And as the postmen say, in rain, shine, sleet, or snow, you do that. Thank you very much.
Ms. Roy.
I just want to take 1 minute to thank the superintendent for this amazing department updates that she has given us. If anybody wants to know what the school board does day in and day out by department, this is extremely impressive. What each of the departments in this district is doing, and so impressive. I'm very proud of this district, and I thank you for letting us know about all of this. I understand this is going to be a regular feature, and as I said, anybody in the audience who would like to know, you should ask for it because it's really something.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, that's it then. All right, let's go to the consent agenda. Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Dr. Paulson. I recommend that the school board approve the consent agenda as described in items 1 through 9.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hyatt, second by Mrs. Griffin. Any discussion by the board? Any discussion from the public? Aye. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Aye, 5-0 passes. All right, action items, Mr. Purvis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. The superintendent recommends that the school board approve the termination of the employee, case number 2018-19-026120, effective November 7th, 2018.
Second.
Well, it's a tie there. I don't know how much.
It doesn't.
Aye, Ms. Griffin made the motion, Dr. McNeely seconded. Any discussion from the board? Public? All right. Everybody in favor, please say aye. Aye. Like sign if you're opposed. That's 5-0. Now we're back to citizens input. Anybody have anything they want to say? I don't have any papers here.
Hi, I'm Kim Higgins, and I'm with Transportation. I'm a coordinator. And I have been here several times before, and I've asked you guys for structure and for help at transportation. And I would like to say that I appreciate bringing Reginald Thomas to transportation, our director. He is awesome. He's brought a lot of structure to transportation. He treats us as a unity, and we're really trying to work towards that and at transportation. And we have a strong foundation, and I think that we have great things to come for transportation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Okay, I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to speak in the form of questions. I'm just going to read it off, and if you need any more understanding, you're welcome to ask me. But before I do that, I also want to tell April, thank you very much for listening to us. A lot of times, it's not what you say, it's the listening that we need. And we appreciate everything that you have shared with us and allow us to share with you. I have a question that I have been plagued with for numerous of years. And the question has been circulating, who is responsible for enforcing the rules and regulations?
Just say your name, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mary Vincent.
I'm sorry I didn't remind you.
We all know you.
I'm sorry. Do I need to start over? No. For numerous years, the question has been circulating, who is responsible for enforcing the rules and regulations for the bus circles at our school? I am very concerned about that. That has been an issue that we have been involved in for a while, but we never could get a plain answer as to where the jurisdiction comes. There are signs posted stating buses only, no drop-off, do not enter. Are these regulations active, or are they just there and we need to remove them? And the reason why I'm saying this is that we talk about safety on highways and with our children crossing the road doing their pickup with the bus stops. But at school, at the schools in the bus circle, it seems that it's being ignored. The rules, in other words, rules are rules no matter where we are, and we need to learn to abide by them. Administration and parents have to be responsible and held accountable. There are extended days at some of the schools, and they are practicing unsafe procedures in the bus circle. Cars are parking in the bus circles, not only on one side, but on both sides. I didn't have a chance to show you some pictures, but I do have them in my phone, and I'll be glad to let you see them if you'd like to. Sometimes with these cars in the bus circles, it can cause an accident. That big yellow bus is not a Volkswagen. And in the midst of coming around that circle, you know, the car can get hit. A tail end turns out and it may hit one of them. It can cause a lot of other things, but the thing that's most important is when our kids get off that bus, Sometimes they run to their parents. Sometimes their papers fly all over the bus circle. Sometimes they're running with their friends. But if you got cars active in that bus circle, one of these children can get hit or get killed. And that's our concern. And the other thing is that the bus circle is also supposed to be a safe place. I'm questioning how safe is it? You will not find a bus in parent pickup where they allow for parents to come and pick up their kids. You will not find that bus over there. So all we're saying is for parents who are picking up their kids with extended, give us the same courtesy. If that sign say buses only, then that's what it should mean. There shouldn't be any cars in there. There are numerous schools that are having problems with the bus circles. Childs, Wiles, Howard Bishop, Fort Clark, Alachua Elementary, Hidden Oaks, Talbot, High Springs Elementary. Do we wait for something to happen? A child can get hurt or killed. It only, yes, my minute's up.
No, you didn't miss it.
No.
Bring it. Bring it to a close.
Bring it to a
okay.
close, I didn't hear what's on.
We have asked ASO and we have also asked GPD, and GPD has worked with us on some of the schools that they are to. At the end of the day, it's like, I will continue to ask you for answers on this problem. And we do have the signs, they're placed at the school, but are they in vain? And if they are, and if the rules are not applying, and if they do apply, we need to enforce them.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
I'd like to address Mrs. Benson.
Well, we're gonna wait to do that. We're gonna stop responding and do it later.
I couldn't hear you, Mr.
We're
Chair.
not gonna reply tonight to those meetings.
Is there a reason?
Well, I've talked to our attorneys, and we're gonna get back to everybody, and they called me and asked me to
Are you
discuss this.
saying,
Miss-
no. Are you stating that the board members are not going to respond if we want to because?
Until we talk to them and discuss it with the board, yes.
Okay, Attorney Delaney?
I think the management of the citizen input period is up to the discretion of the chair. I would point out that we haven't gotten to board member and superintendent requests, and that's traditionally a time for board members to address.
Thank you, I'll do it at that point. Thank you so much.
Time's done.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Okay, let's go to board member superintendent request. Dr. McNeely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to say, in lieu of what you stated, Mrs. Vinson, I'm sure that the superintendent, the attorney, the chair will all agree that every school has a deputy assigned to that school. And I would certainly hope that inasmuch that we have a situation that's clearly a safety issue, and I forgot Chief Hamilton as well, that we can make sure that our law enforcement will help with the bus circle so that I never would want to wake up and say, oh, if we could have or we should have, then I think that all of us will work together with the bus drivers as well as the law enforcement. That's all I wanted to state. Okay? Now, I do have a request because I see Mr. Thomas here, and thank you again to all of the workers and employees who consistently come to our board meetings. I'm requesting once again for the report from you, Mr. Thomas, as well as Ms. Yama. I know how things have gone. You're so busy, and I understand during the period that I wanted that information, you had a major loss in your family. And I wanted to acknowledge that. But I am still waiting for the report about the air condition and the issues that we were having and that we spoke about with some of the buses. I'd like to get that report, as well as the report for 43rd Avenue. I think there was an issue with that as well, so if you could please handle that for me, I would appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Clark?
Thank you, Dr. Paulson. My apologies. I failed to mention something at the beginning, but wanted to mention it now. For the board to acknowledge the passing of Dr. Doris Richardson, former principal at Hidden Oak, on October 23rd. She served this district for 56 years. Very few people can claim to have worked in a district for 56 years, and she was a principal for 33 of those years at High Springs, at Rawlings, and then the last 20 years of her career at Hidden Oak. So she impacted the lives of thousands of children, staff, fellow administrators. I know Dr. McNeely had the opportunity to work with her. I had the opportunity to be mentored by her as a new principal, so just wanted to extend condolences to the family on behalf of the board.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, let's see, that should be it then, right? All right, if there's nothing else, then this meeting's adjourned.